Maurice's ex-boyfriend, Wanya Morris, of Boyz II Men took advantage of her in her memoir phases. I'm going to be using a People article to get us through this quick report in my commentary today. Let's go ahead and let's get on into it. So, Brandy is opening up for the first time about a relationship she says haunted her in phases. The R&B superstar's new memoir. She shares details of her late 90s relationship with Boyz II Men singer Wanya Morris that she says began when she was 16 and he was in his early 20s. The two collaborated on the hit song Broken Hearted in 1994, and she shares that their friendship quickly turned romantic. Here is a quote from the actual memoir. I was in over my head. Sneaking around with Wanya and lying to my parents had become a constant. They barely liked the idea of me dating at all, and telling them about us was out of question, Brandy, now 47, wrote. To continue. But it wasn't just about upsetting or disappointing my parents. Wanya and I understood with diamond-cut clarity that public knowledge of our relationship would ignite scandal, potentially threatening everything we both worked for. So he and I opted for elaborate fiction. We would pretend patience and claim we were waiting until my 18th birthday before pursuing any romantic connection. So Brandy writes of losing her virginity to Morris, who is now 52 years old. She goes on to share that as the relationship progressed, he became prone to comparing her to other hit R&B singers, namely Mariah Carey, his One Sweet Day duet partner, the song One Sweet Day. He was also increasingly hard to track down, and she was required to page him prior to calling. Here is another quote. These are the things that with hindsight you realize are wildly obvious signs of something wrong. Neon warning signs that I chose to ignore because I didn't know what the hell I was doing or what he was doing with me, just that I was in love or what I believed was love. She says that the two split up after she discovered and he admitted that he was cheating. For years, she says that Morris has described their relationship as the young ingenue having a schoolgirl crush and getting her heart broken, but that's not the case, she says. She says, I believe he took advantage. The shame ends here, the silence ends here, she adds, of coming to terms with the feeling that she was manipulated into and throughout the relationship. She says here, I was not a fast girl with a crush. I was not a dramatic teenager who couldn't handle rejection. I was not an unstable, obsessive fan. I was a child, and he was an adult, and it's time the world understood the difference. So, representatives of Morris did not immediately return people's requests for comment. Over the years, the singer has spoken out about their relationship, including a 2021 live social media post where he shared, we were young, you're young, and you fall in love. As time progressed, we grew out of each other. She grew out of me and I grew out of her. I might have grown out of her a little bit faster. Now, with all that being said, journalists hat off. There have also been interviews with radio interviews with, the Breakfast Club and so forth. And correct me if it's not the Breakfast Club, but I did see an old interview clip of Wanya talking about how Brandy was old enough to get it.
They were saying she was really young when y'all dated.
Yeah, she was. Not that young. Not
God,
not
this
not
jailbait.
No, that's what I'm saying. Hold on, but that's why. But hold on, that's why I stopped it.
The question
But hold on. But that's why I stopped it and said that she wasn't that young, because I don't want y'all to think Boyz II Men was young.
She said she was.
I was young too.
She said she was 15 and she had to keep it a secret because she was so young.
See, we did the thing. We did the thing when she was like 16, 17, around that time.
You was so you were still a boy too. You hadn't.
I wasn't old.
Wasn't
I wasn't
two men
like
yet. You was
38
boys.
years old, nothing like that. I was old enough to. She was old enough to get it.
Okay. But was it legal in the state y'all was in?
I mean, we was always in different states. We was on tour.
They had a nomad relationship.
You know what I'm saying? We just, we didn't do it in the states that it was legal. It was illegal in.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Oh my gosh. Political.
No. It was, you know what I mean? It was a time. It was a relationship. It grew and it ungrew. I guess you could say that.
Ungrew.
Or some type of quote, I'm paraphrasing here, but he did say that she was old enough to get it, as Charlemagne was asking him about, her being so young. And he did admit that she was young with that Breakfast Club interview that I just referenced. So journalists had off at the time. She was 16 years old, and journalists had off here. She was really, really young. He was 22 at the time. He was dating Adina Howard as well. And there are stories of Brandy having to argue and compete and fight with other women in the industry. So all in all, she was really, really young, and I think it's okay for her to just take this moment as transparency and reflect on the past. I think that that's a very important thing to do. It's just crazy how online people are saying that she was fast and, she was underage. So anyways, drop down below and let me all know what you think about this topic. Thank you for watching.